Okay.
Same thing again, Timmy, yeah.
Okay, we are live at Ryan's Family Amusements in Millis, Massachusetts with a doubleheader in the A Division and B Division of the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour. This is Dan Castle, and we're about to see Tim Douglas on the right start off the first game with a strike, and Jim Hunter on the left, and he starts off with a hit on the 4. See if you can hear me at all. Okay. Hunter misses the spare opportunity and ends up with a 6 box. So this is Dan Castle. I'll be your host today for this doubleheader match. Tim Douglas is bowling against Rob Linehan in the A Division. Hunter versus James Humes in the B Division. Douglas on his first ball in the second box. Drops 9 to start his strike fill. Hunter still falling. And now 8, 9, and there it goes for a slow motion strike. Started with 4 pins. But it's a strike no matter how long it takes, as long as you don't throw a second ball. And Tim Douglas with a spare on strike for, 10 box. I'm sorry, I didn't see the second ball. So Douglas is at 29 after 2. Hunter at 16 plus 2 ball fill. They're not bowling head to head. The bowlers are their opponents are sitting down, and Douglas coming on strong with another strike, and Hunter with a strike. Between the two bowlers, they've thrown 6 boxes so far. 4 of them are strikes. We're here at Ryan's Family Amusements in Millis, Massachusetts on a nice Sunday where there's been a lot of ACST bowling today, including a new house record, or 2 new house records set by Josh Daly. Douglas, first ball on the second strike he's got. He put 7 on it. Hunter looking for a triple and drops 5, so he closes out box 2 with 31. He just bowled another match against Mike Capone, so this is his second match in a row, and Douglas has 8 on the fill on that strike. So 47 after 3, 6 on Hunter's fill, so he is 47 after 3 as well. Douglas with a 9 box, 56 after 4. Hunter with a 7 box, he's at 54 after 4. I'm running solo today, so no score sheets on screen, but you should be able to see the score sheet up above if you're watching the video. Timmy Douglas puts it on a head pin and ends up with a spread eagle, one of our least favorite leaves, so just 4 down. Hunter almost got another strike, 9 on his first ball. Douglas going to the 10 pin. Hunter trying to get another mark here, and that will not count. He put it in the channel, and as you know in Candlepin bowling, when you put it in the gutter, it doesn't count. Tim Douglas with a disappointing 5 box. Closing out the first half of the first of 5 games with a 61. Jim Hunter with a 63 after 5. And now the home bowlers come up. Rob Linehan and James Humes. Rob is bowling against Tim. James is bowling against Jim. And Kyle, good to see you here. Could you sound check me, please? I was a little lacking confidence in my sound quality right now. Rob Linehan starts out with a 9 drop, just the head pin left. Humes is over on the 3 pin and takes out 4. Linehan with a spare matching Tim Douglas's mark in the first. Humes just clips 1, so he still has 6 left. And Kyle, thanks for the update. That is Jim's 3rd match of the day, not 2nd. Humes with a 7 box. So our format today is 5 strings. Each bowler will bowl 5 boxes. We're on lane 7 and 8, and then their opponent will come up. So we're in the second part of the first half of the first game. Linehan put 6 on his spare. And just misses the object pin, so no mark in the second for Rob. James is on the head pin nicely. 7 pin doesn't carry, so he's going to start with a deficit after 2 boxes. So we're going to go back and forth. We're going to do 1/2 of each game on each lane, and that'll be 5 games total. The winner of each game is awarded 2 points toward their standings in the playoffs, and the winner of total wins 4. So a total possible of 14 points per match is awarded today. Now I'll get the standings shortly as we get caught up here. Linehan on the 2 pin takes out just 4. Humes right on the head pin, and there's a strike. He's all over that one. Beautifully done. Linehan trying to spare this tough leave. And he's got 4 more to clean up to try to get a 10. They're spread all over the place, but he gets 3 of them, so leaves only the 9 pin for a 9 box. So after 3 boxes, Rob Linehan's at 35 versus Tim Douglas 47 after 3. James Humes at 26 plus a 2-ball fill, and Jim Hunter had 47 at this point in the match. Linehan all over the pocket, everything but the 10 pin. And Humes throws down a nice ball and takes out 8 on his first. Linehan looking to pick up a single pin spare, no problem. Humes looking to put a spare on strike, and just 9, so a 9 fill puts him at 35 after 3. He's down 12 in completed boxes. And a 9 box, so 44 after 4 versus Jim Hunter's 54 after 4. On the fill for Linehan, it's 7:52 after 4. Just a 4-pin deficit versus Tim Douglas. He's looking at a triangle. Humes drops 7, spread out. And another spare for Linehan, so it puts him at 62 plus a ball at the half. Humes looking to clean up this castle leave and just picks out the 5 pin, so the 4 and 7 are left. And Braden Booley, I see your comment. What is this? This is the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour. This is Candlepin bowling, what we call real bowling in New England and Eastern Canada. It's a fast game. And the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour is a traveling league that has 4 divisions of 32 bowlers in each division. They bowl head-to-head over the season and accumulate points toward the playoffs. And we have 2 matches going on simultaneously here, the doubleheader. Our visiting bowlers have come up to start their 6th box. Jim Hunter on your right started with drop 6 and has got everything but the head pin gone now. Did not get a mark on that. Timmy Douglas on the left. Oh, he's all over his object. He had a triangle on the left plus a 10 pin, so he'll be open in a 6th. And a 10 box for Jim Hunter. 73 after 6, and Tim Douglas with a 7 box. 68 after 6. So as your comments and that come in, I will do my best to answer them. I'm running solo today, though, so be aware. Jim Hunter, box 7. On the 2 pin, punches out what we call the half Worcester, just the 2 and the 8. Tim Douglas on the head pin, and they are all gone. Another strike. That's his 3rd of this game. Douglas puts down strike after strike after strike in some of his games. He's got a very powerful ball. Our system here can't read his ball because once you go over 40 miles an hour, it just shows a blank speed. Jim is throwing around 30 miles an hour, we see. And that's measured at the pins. It's actually a little faster at the hand. All right, 8 box for Hunter for 81 after 7. Okay. Jim Hunter, box 8. He's in the pocket. Little full. And is rewarded with a split. Tim Douglas looking for a double. Not going to happen this time, but not bad to start. 7 on the first ball. He's left with a 1-2-4. Hunter is looking at the 4-6-10 with Wood over there. He's got to make dance. He's going to the right side. Trying to kick that 6-pin over, but just hits the 10. And Douglas, a light hit. Is he going to get it anyway? Well, he doesn't, but he gets 9 in the fill, so 87 after 7. And a nice 10 box for Jim Hunter. Carried the 4-pin over to the 6. And Douglas with a 9. He's at 96 after 8. Jim Hunter, 91 after 8. These bowlers, again, are not head-to-head. They're the first of 2 bowlers on each match. Their opponents are sitting down waiting for their turn. Hey, Billy Austin, good to see you. Hunter with an 8 drop. The 6 and the 9. A lot of nice wood in front of that. That may help be a snowplow through that. Douglas dropped 8. He's left with a 4-7. Wood's behind. See if he can make that work. And it does. Spare for Hunter in the 9th. And Douglas just doesn't carry the 7-pin, so he'll be open in the 9th. There's some wood that may be on ahead of the dead wood line, so Mike Capone is going to go down and take a look at that. Mike Capone just bowled a match versus Jim Hunter just moments ago before we started this one. We have league bowlers on the right. Timmy looking to clean up the third ball. He picks up a 10, 106 after 9. Now we're coming into the last box of the first game for our visiting bowlers. A lot of strikes so far. All right, Hunter, he's on a fill, and that fill will be on the head pin. Nice hit. Little full. Just 6 in the fill and an ugly split. And Douglas is on the head pin, and he's rewarded with a split too. 4, 7, 9, 10, and nothing going at all. Went into the channel. Douglas is looking at the 2, 3, 6, 9, 10, and comes awful close to picking the whole thing up, but he'll be open in box 10. With that fill, Hunter's as 107 after 9. Trying to carry something over, and it's an 8 box, so a 115 string for Jim Hunter. And Tim Douglas with that 9 box closes his first string with a 115 as well. So, well below averages for both guys. And I'll record those, and then as our home bowlers are coming up, I'll start working toward reading off the standings and averages in that. James Humes, he's at 54 at the half, and he starts with an 8 drop. Rob Linehan's on a fill, and that fill is a 5, so he closes the first half with 67, up 6 pins over Tim Douglas. Humes shooting at the 9-10. No problem with that wood in front of it. Linehan trying to get to Caleri, but it's not going to go for him. And looking for the third ball, and 9 box, so 76 after 6. He's up 8 pins on Tim Douglason so far in this string. Humes is at 64 plus this ball. And James puts it just to the left of the head pin. 7 in the fill, 71 after 6. Linehan missed the head pin, took out 5. James trying to pick up the, what was that, the 1-3-7, just the head pin goes. Linehan's got 5 down there to pick up, and 3 go, 2 are left. And a 9 box for Humes for 80 after 7. 10 nice 10 box for Rob, and that was a big one for him because he was up against a strike 9. So it's 86 after 7. And Tim Douglas had put up a strike in the 7th box, so he's at 87. Humes is just down 1 pin from his opponent. And he needs to get 35 pins and 3 boxes to tie. Nice bid on that, but that 7 pin doesn't carry. Rob just needs to pin out, but anything less than a 10 will mean that he needs a spare to win the string. 10 box for James Humes, 90 after 8. 9 box for Rob. He needs 2 10s to win. He needs a spare, or 2 10s to tie. He needs a spare to win. And Humes is in the same spot. Pretty close. All right, both bowlers on the head pin. James drops out 5. He's left with the cluster of 5 on the right, or left. Rob's got a triangle to work with. James on the object pin and can't get that back pin to go. It's wiggling. There's a spare for Linehan. Absolutely necessary for the string. $10 box for James Humes. That puts him at 100. He's going to need 116. He needs a spare 6 to win. First ball is on the head pin in the left pocket. And he takes out 6. He's got a diamond there with some wood over on the left. Now Linehan dropped 5, put 5 in the fill. He is now tied. He's 110 after 9. And Linehan does not close a spare. Or Linehan's Humes, I'm sorry. Linehan has 9 so far. He has won this string. And with that 9, James Humes has a 109. He loses the first string by 6. With that 10, Rob Linehan puts up a 120. So Linehan picks up the first 2 points with a 120 to 115 win over Timmy Douglas. And Jim Hunter beats James Humes 115 to 109. And I'm recording these scores. So 2 points to Linehan, 2 points to Hunter. Starting game 2. Timmy Douglas. Solid on the head pin. Takes out 8. Jim Hunter. Well, he's over on the 3 pin, and he's got the 1, 2, and 4.5 or something. That wood deflects Douglas' ball, so he does not get the mark on the 6-10. And just that back pin for Hunter. Nice 10 box for Tim. And a 9 box for Hunter. Okay. So looking at the standings and averages, the bowlers that are up right now, Jim Hunter is in the B division in the South Conference. Group 3, and he's in first place in Group 3 with a win-loss record of 82 and 16, not including what we just saw. So that may change that. And he's been running an average of 113.63. Douglas with a spare. James Humes is in the B Division South Conference Group 1, and right now he's in 4th place in that group with a 54-72 win-loss record. That's on points, not games. And a 111.38 average. And we'll look at the A bowlers. Douglas on the head pin. And that's just 5 in the fill. Hunter, nice solid head pin hit too, and gets a 7-10 split. Timmy tries to spare that spread eagle minus 7. And now we're looking at the A division standings. Rob Linehan is in the South division. And Hunter spares a 7-10. Douglas with a 10 box. So at 3 boxes, Tim Douglas is at 35. Jim Hunter at 28 plus a ball. So in this A division match, Rob Linehan in Group 1 has a is in 3rd place, has a group win-loss record of 58-60, or 58-96. Sorry, I'm looking at the wrong one. And an average of 114.9. And Tim Douglas currently is in 2nd place in Group 3 with a win-loss record of 36-20 and a 123.15 average. So some top bowlers here. So Jim Hunter back to the action, put 8 in that fill, put him at 36 after 3. He's shooting at the 110, misses it all. Tim was looking at a split 2. He just picked up the front pin. He's got the 7 pin, and the 7 pin's gone, 45 after 4. And an 8 box for Hunter for 44 after 4. All right, Tim Hunter looking to close out first half of game 2, and it goes a little wide. Comes in on the 3 pin, or on a 4 pin. Takes out just 4. Hunter is on the 2 pin. And he gets the Millis 8, the 1-3. We call that the Millis 8 when you come in on the 3 pin or the 2 pin in that vicinity, and you end up with an 8 drop, just the 1-2 or the 1-3 left. And sometimes that happens. Is it going to go? And there it goes. Slow motion spare for Hunter. Douglas trying to clean up this for a 10 box, gets a 9. We close out the first half of game 2 for our visiting bowlers. Tim Douglas with 54, Jim Hunter with 54 and a ball. Okay. Now our home bowlers coming up to start game 2. Rob Linehan, his first ball, comes in on a 2 pin. Gets some late action, so not a bad leave. 1-3-5-6. Humes is over on the 6 pin, just picks up the 6-10. Linehan almost spares that, but the 5 pin is not touched by the falling 3 pin. And Humes is off to the side and still has 5 to go. So Linehan with a 9 box. And a 7 box for James Humes. All right, Linehan came in on the right pocket. Brooklyn side for a lefty. Humes on the 3 pin. So Linehan's looking at the 4-5 split. He's got wood next to the 5. I don't know how he's going to shoot this. I see Rob bowl a lot. We're on a team together, actually. And he just picks a 5 pin. Humes, 1-2-4-9-10. Trying to catch this 1 pin on the side, but only gets a 9 to go. And a 10 box for Linehan, 19 after 2. He's down 6 pins and completed. Nice pickup. That's what he meant to do on the last ball. So Humes gets a 10 box rather than the spare, but 17 after 2. He's down 1 pin from Jim Hunter. Hunter, though, is 2 marks coming up. Linehan went a little bit across the head pin and dropped 6 for a 4 horseman left. Humes is on the 2 pin and 6 go down. He's left with a 1-3-7-10. Wood that looks favorable, but the 10 pin I think would be in question. Linehan on the 2 pin does not get the 1 to carry. Nice bid by James Humes, but the 10 pin stayed up. 9 box for Linehan, 28 after 3. He's down 7 pins from Douglas. Looking for a 10, and Humes does not get it. A 9 box. The wood deflected him around. Nothing you can do about that. 26 after 3 for Humes. He's down 10. Linehan again on the 3-pin. He's crossing in front of that head pin. He's left for the 4 horsemen left again. Humes is on the 3-pin again. He's got the 4 horsemen left plus an 8-pin back there. 7-pin dropped late. Linehan picks up the spare. Light hit, but it went anyway. So spare in the 4th for Linehan. Humes picks up his mark. First mark of the game for both bowlers. That's right. Timmy, you were up in Augusta, huh? It's a long drive. 6 in the fill for Linehan and 7 in the fill for Humes. So 44 after 4 for Rob Linehan. He's down 1 pin and goes for the hole. 43 after 4 for James Humes. He's down 1 pin and up against a spare and does not pick up his own spare. So both bowlers looking to pin out here. And Linehan will settle with a 9 box for 53 after 5. And a 10 box for James Humes. Off the wall, 53 after 5 for both bowlers. Our visiting bowlers coming up. Jim Hunter on your right. He's bowling against James Humes. Tim Douglas on your left. He's bowling against Rob Linehan. Hunter is on a spare. He's at 54 plus this ball. Looks good from here. And that's a 9 drop. So 9 in the fill. 63 is the final score for the first 5 boxes. Douglas punches out on the left for a half Worcester left. And there's another spare for Hunter. Douglas trying to spare the half Worcester. It's tough to do. Can be done. But it didn't go that time. He went on to the 6-pin. So he's looking to pin out here. He's got 5 left. Anything better than a 5 he's going to be happy with. And how about 9? 9 box for Tim. 63 after 6. Oh, it went 73 after 6. So that was a 10 box, not a 9 box. A little late action. He throws such a powerful ball. The wood moves around for a long time sometimes. On the fill for Hunter. Again, solid on the head pin. That time too solid. And he punches out 5. Spread eagle plus the 10 pin is down. Douglas has a 6 drop. Interesting leave through the hole for Hunter. Tim Douglas is shooting at the 2, 5, 8, 10. And the 2 and the 5 went out, it looks like, if I called the pins right. Hunter trying not to go through the hole again. He does. So 5 box. So 5 fill, 5 box. Douglas with a 9 box. Hunter was 83 after 7. Douglas was 73 after 7. Hunter coming into box 8. Again on a head pin. Still kind of solid, but he got a better break that time. Still a little ugly. 7, 8, and 10. Douglas with a 9 drop. No strike. 3 pin stayed up. Hunter looking to use that wood. That front wood maybe on the red line or lower. He's going higher. And it worked. Spare in the 7th and the 8th. Beautiful spare by Jim Hunter. And a spare by Tim Douglas. So matching spares for the visiting bowlers. 93 after 8 for Hunter plus a fill. 83 after 8 plus a fill for Tim Douglas. Hunter's on the fill. This time he's off the head pin. Sometimes that's maybe a good idea, but not bad. He gets 7 in the fill, puts him at 100 after 8. Tim Douglas on his fill. He's on the 2-pin, or on a 3-pin. Takes out 8. Hunter's shooting at the 1, 2, 4. All in a row. And just picks up the 1. Tim's shooting at the 1-7 split. Lots of wood in between. hits a head pin, it might just go. And that's what it does for a spare in the ninth for Tim Douglas. And a 10 in the ninth for Jim Hunter for 110. And it looks like we have a pin out there that needs to be retrieved. So it looks like Steve Reno, recent Hall of Fame inductee, will be going down to pick up that pin. Steve works here some and coaches a lot of us. He's a legendary bowler in his own right. See Dan Esdale. Glad to see you, Dan. All right, we're coming into box 10 of game 2, and where we stand right now, Tim Douglas on your left is on a spare. He's at 101 plus a fill. Jim Hunter, we need to reset that score. Okay, so just correct it to 8 in the drop. Douglas puts 7 on his fill, so we need to eliminate the scoring system read 1 pin down, and there we go. Linehan fixed this, so 8 on the drop. He's looking at the 2 and the 7. Douglas is trying to get the 1, 8, 9, and Hunter goes through the hole. Douglas, great bid on that one, but the 8 pin stayed up, so both bowlers opened in a 10th. And a 118 for Jim Hunter with that 8 box. And a 117 for Tim Douglas with that 9 box. And I'll write down the scores real quick. I'm keeping the score sheets for the guys. It helps me keep track of where we are in total. All right, coming up in a box 6 for our home bowlers. James Humes, nice drop, and that 4 pin doesn't want to go down. Linehan puts it in the pocket, is rewarded with a 4-7-10 split. Linehan, both bowlers pick up their spares. $63 and a ball for Humes, 63 and a ball for Linehan. Humes puts it on the 6 pin, but it's got a lot of late action here, and that's a 9 fill. Rob Linehan put 5 on his spare. So that means Humes has a 72 after 6, just shooting at the 6 pin. Trying to keep it out of the channel, and it looks good to me. Spare for Humes. Linehan came in on the 3 pin and picked up just a couple more, so he's open in the 7th. And that's a nice pickup for a 10 box by Linehan. Spread out triangle, not an easy shot. All right, Humes is on a fill. He's at 82 plus this ball. Coming into the pocket. And all the horses go down. The kingpin stayed up. 9 in the fill. 91 after 7 for James Humes. Linehan has a 6 drop. Very interesting wood down there. Humes shooting at just a 5 pin and just picks it up. I thought he was going to miss it. 3 spares in a row. Linehan shooting at 2 and 2 and did not pick up the front 2. And that would be the 3 and the 5, I think. All gone now. 10 box for Linehan, 88 after 8, and he's down 3 pins in completed boxes to Tim Douglas. Humes is up right now. He's at 101 plus this ball. Coming in nice into the pocket, and there's a strike for James Humes. 4 in a row. 4 marks in a row for 111 at the 8th box, and he's at 121 plus a 2-ball fill. He's won the second string. Linehan with an 8 box, 96. Plus these two to close out this box, possible 98. And that's a 98 for him. So 10 box, he's down 10 pins. So he needs to get to 118. He needs a strike spare combination to win. Humes has won his string already. The first ball in his strike fill is on the head pin. 8 drop. All right, there's the first ball for Linehan. He's set up pretty nicely to potentially pick up a spare here. He's got the 4-7 in wood. Humes trying to keep it on the, and there's a spare on strike. And that's, all right, Linehan got the spare. He needs a strike to win. Humes put up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 marks in a row. He's at 131, and now 141 plus this ball. So 131 at the 9th, 141 in the 10th. And that's a half Worcester, just a 2 fill. Linehan must strike here. He does not. So Tim Douglas will win game 2. 117 to 114. James Humes will win game 2. 144 to 118. We'll come back with the totals momentarily. Okay, so in the Linehan-Douglas match, they both have 2 points, 2 and 2. And Linehan leads in total by 2 pins, 234 to 232. In the Hunter-Humes match, it's 2 and 2 there too, also. And Humes leads Hunter by 20 pins, 253 to 233 after 2. All right, we're starting game 3. And Tim Douglas starts with a spare after that 7 drop. Jim Hunter looking to spare the 5-10. See if he can, and he does. Makes good use of that wood. He capped it and carried it over. Opening spares for both visiting bowlers in game 3. Douglas on the fill. Comes in on a 3-pin. Gets a good mix on that one. And that's 6 in the fill. Hunter puts 8 on his. Douglas looking at the 1, 2, 4, 5. Or 8. I'm sorry, not 5. And just gets the 2 and the 4 to go. Hunter looking at the 5-7. Trying to make that wood work for him. Just misses. 18 after 1 for him. Douglas trying to close this out. Nice 10 box with the 1-8 pin. No wood in between. And a 10 box for Hunter. So Douglas is at 26. Hunter at 28. 2 good matches going here. Douglas, first ball in the 3rd box. Slams that one down there into the head pin, but the 6 pin stayed up. Hunter picks up his strike, so strike in the 3rd for Jim Hunter. Douglas trying to pick up the 6 pin for his spare. Right at it. No problem at all. Spare in the 3rd for Timmy Douglas. 36 after 3 plus a fill. 38 after 3 plus a fill for Jim. And hopefully viewers at home, since we don't have a score sheet on the screen, I tried to make sure we had the scoreboard visible and readable. I think it is. I'm zoomed in somewhat. Douglas starts with 6 on his fill. Hunter on the 3-pin puts 6 on his fill. So Timmy Douglas at 42. Hunter's got another ball for his fill. Douglas will be open. Hunter looking to spare on strike. And he does it. So a 10 fill puts him at 48 after 3. And 58 plus a ball after 4. Douglas with a 9 box. He's at 51 after 4. All right, box 5, game 3. Timmy Douglas, he's on a 2-pin, but gets great action and takes out everything but the 7. Hunter gets great action and leaves the 5-pin, so 9 in his fill. He's a 67 at 4 with just a 5-pin and good wood. Douglas picks up his spare in the 5th. Hunter trying to spare the 5-pin. No problem. So both bowlers hang a spare in the 5th box. 61 in a ball for Tim Douglas. 77 in a ball for Jim Hunter. Keep in mind, everybody, this is Jim Hunter's 3rd match of the day. And of course, Timmy was bowling up in Augusta, Maine earlier today, too. So they're like machines. Just keep going. I can't do that. All right, box 1 of game 3 for Rob Linehan. He's in the pocket. Solid. Everything but the 5-pin. James Humes, who just came off that 144, starts with a strike. And a spare for Rob, matching Tim Douglas' spare. Caitlin, good to see you here. Can't wait to see you back. Linehan puts 8 on his. Is it going to be 9? Oh, that 4-pin, thinking about it, but... All right, in the first ball in his fill, Hume has 4, but he's got a nice setup there with all that wood. He should be able to get 8 or 9 out of it, maybe 10. Linehan trying to carry this and can't pick up that 6-pin. Humes, let's see what he does with this wood. He's right on it. And there's a spare on strike. Beautifully done. James is a very precise bowler. Love watching him bowl. 10 box for Linehan, 28 after 2. He's up 2 pins and completed. Humes is also up 2 pins and completed, but he's also got a fill. He's at 30 plus a ball versus 28. He needs to do that. Hunter put up a strike spare combination in boxes 3 through 5. So is that going to be 9? There's 9 on a fill. So 39 after 2 for James Humes. Linehan drops 6. Check mark and does not convert to spare. Humes trying to just pick up the 10-pin. No problem. 3 in a row. And he's calling it bad. All right, 10 box for Linehan. So that's a 9 box for James. He's calling it a foul. From my vantage point, it looked good, but I couldn't see if he might have touched something in the channel. Actually, the camera angle probably saw it better than I do. I'm off to the right. Linehan in the pocket is left with a 4-10 split. Humes on the 3-pin. 6-7 go out. He's at 48 after 3, matching Jim Hunter. Linehan needs some spares here. Doesn't get that one. Humes trying to match Hunter's spare in the 4th. Does not. He'll drop behind. Nice 9 box for Rob Linehan. He's at 47 after 4. Nice 10 box for Humes. He's at 58 after 4. So in completed boxes, Tim Douglas is at 51 to Rob Linehan's 47. Douglas put a spare in the 5th. Linehan wants to do the same thing. He's going to have to shoot the 4 horsemen to do it. Humes is at 58. And he's versus Hunter's at 77 after the halfway point. Humes just put it on the 6-pin, took out 3. And a nice spare for Rob Linehan. Keeping it close. Humes does not get this spare, so he still has 3 left. And James closes with a 9 box. So halfway through this match in the 3rd game, we're coming into the 2nd half now. Our visiting bowlers coming up. And on your left, Tim Douglas is a 61 plus a ball versus Rob Linehan's 57 plus a ball. Jim Hunter's at 77 plus a ball versus James Humes 67. So he's got a 10-pin lead plus whatever he puts in a fill. Both bowlers actually bowling quite well. And is it going to be 8 or 9? 8 in a fill, so he closes with an 85 half. Douglas in his fill puts 4. So he has a 65 half. Hunter's looking to the 7-10 split. This wood over by the 10-pin. Maybe it'll work. Nope. not gonna fly over. Just goes back. He capped it. Douglas trying to get something going on this one and leaves the 2 and the 5. And that's a 9 box for Jim Hunter for 94 at 6. 10 box for Douglas for 75 after 6. Hunter's got a potentially big string going here with 94 at the 6 box. Just misses a head pin, believes a Cleary. 4 horsemen plus a 9 pin. Douglas is solid on the head pin, and that 5 pin decides to stay up somehow. Was a third of the way over. Still wobbling. Hunter over on the 4 pin, doesn't convert to Cleary. Douglas trying to pick up 1 pin spare, and he does it. 85 and a ball after 7. Hunter's got 3 more to go. Picks up 2 of them for 103 after 7. Tim Douglas clearing the channel. Hey, Drew. No, Bob's gone. I'm running the cameras right now. So, cameras and mic for me. Greg, sorry if we're cutting in and out. I have had notification a couple of times of Wi-Fi being a little weak, but I think it's working for most everybody. So box 8, first ball. Hunter puts down 6. Douglas is on a fill. So 85 plus this ball. And that's a 6-2. Left for the diamond, so he closes box 7 at 91. Hunter wide to the right, just takes out 1 pin. Douglas picks up the spare in the 8th. Diamond goes down, no problem. Hunter with the 9 box, 112 after 8. All right, we're coming into box 9 of game 3. Jim Hunter on your right, he's at 112 after 8 boxes. Solid head pin hit, he's left with a castle right, 5, 6, 10. On a fill, Tim Douglas comes in on the head pin solid. 7 in the fill, 108 after 8. All right, Hunter has the 5, 6, 10 with no wood, going to try to carry something over. Almost does, nice bid on that. That's a tough lead. Still taps the 5 pin, not quite enough. Douglas is going for the right pin. Try to carry that over. Hunter looking for a 10. No problem. 122 after 9. And a 9 box for Tim Douglas. 117 after 9. Box 10 of game 3. And Jim Hunter is in the pocket. And he's left with a 6-7 split. Tim Douglas was a diamond. Now it's just 3. 2-5-8. And we're looking at a 6-7 split here for Jim Hunter. And try to make that wood work for him. Good idea. But it didn't quite deflect the ball over to the 6 pin. And Douglas will be open in the 10th, or maybe not. No, he's not. It's a spare. 10 box for Jim Hunter. 132 game. All right, so Tim Douglas is a 127 plus this ball. And right on the head pin and a spread eagle, or as I call it, getting the bird. So a 131 game, still a very respectable game. Nothing wrong with that. And that gives him a 3-string total of 363. Jim Hunter has 365 for 3. Home bowlers coming up. James Humes is 67 after 5. And 9 in the drop. He's got a ways to go here. So does Rob Linehan, who put 5 on his fill, 62 after 5. Humes with a spare in the 7th. 77 in the ball. Linehan trying to pick up the cleary, no problem. Spare for him, 72 in the ball. So Linehan needs 69 pins to tie, 70 to win. Humes needs 65 to tie, 66 to win. He put 5 in the fill. Linehan looks like he's going to have 7 in his fill, maybe 8, 7. So 80 at 6 for Humes. 10 pin won't carry. 79 after 6 for Linehan. Linehan's up 4 and completed. Humes is down 6 and completed. Humes with a 10 box, 90 after 7. Linehan with an 8 box, 87 after 7. B1 17, 40 B1. Still needs 44 pins to tie. Tim does, or Rob does. Nice 8 drop by James. 2-5 are left with Wood in between. Linehan drops 7. He's left with 3 in a row. And a spare for James. Needs a couple here. And a spare for Linehan. It was a little scary for a second. A 7 looked like it might want to stay up, but it went down. So matching spares for our home bowlers. 100 in a ball for Humes. He's against all open boxes after this, so he's got a shot. Big fill and a couple more, and he might do it. And that's not a bad fill, an 8. So it puts him at 108. Linehan was just to the right of the head pin and only put 4 on that one. Another spare for James. Now he's at 118. He can take the lead with a good spare. A good fill, I'm sorry. Was a good spare. Linehan just picked up 1 more. He needs some pins here. And there he goes. Nice 10. 111. So he's down 6. He needs a spare strike to tie, a double strike to win. Humes with his fill. Nice fill, 9. And that gave him the lead. He's at 127. He's won this string, actually. Linehan starts with 7. Best he can do is tie. Spare for Humes. 1-7-10. And we get the 1-7, but not the 10, so Tim Douglas will win this string. So a 9 box, that gives Rob Linehan a 120, so Douglas wins 131 to 120. Picks up 2 points. It's 4-2 on that match. Humes on the fill. And like 3 fill gives him a 140 string. So he came back to win 140 to 132. Both bowlers bowling great here. And in totals on that match, Humes is at 393. Sorry. To Jim Hunter, 365. And he has 4 points to Hunter's 2. And then the other match, Douglas is at 363 to 354 for Linehan. And he's got 4 points to 2. All right, we're starting game 4. 7 drop to Tim Douglas. It's left with a 137. No problem. And Hunter goes to the left. He's trying to pick up the 1-9. Humes just 7 pins shy of a 400 triple. All right, 9 box for Jim Hunter. Tim Douglas on the fill. And that's a fill. 10 fill gives him 20 to start. And 2 balls to fill this strike. So he's a 30 plus 2. Hunter is looking at the 137. Gets it. Threw 1 pin in the air over it, didn't catch it, and then another one came off the wall. So spares for Jim Hunter in a second and 19 plus a ball. Tim Douglas is on a strike fill, and he's waiting for the ball to come back that he threw the strike with. I've seen Timmy do that a lot of times. He always uses the same ball that he threw the strike with when he gets the strike. And why not? I gave him a double. Hunter puts 5 on his fill for 24 after 2. 4 horsemen plus the 8. Just the 2 and the 8 go. Yeah. You guys are 9 pins difference. And a 9 box for Jim Hunter for 33 after 3. Timmy Douglas is on a double strike. He's in there again, and there's a triple. Spare and triple strike for Tim Douglas to start the 4th game. He's on fire here. 6 on the first ball for Hunter. He picks off just the 6 pin. The 4, 6, and 7 are left. And an 8 box. Timmy trying to clear the gutter, puts in the next lane over. All right, Douglas is on a triple, looking for a 4-bagger here. And 7 in the first ball, so strike streak will end at 3. And that closes box 2 box 3 at 77. And he misses wide, so a 7 fill on the 3rd strike. So after 4 boxes, Douglas is at 94. Hunter misses a spare bid. And Douglas picks up the 10, perfect half, 104 through 5. And with that 10 box, Jim Hunter's at 51, at 50 through 5. Jim, that gave you a 9. I think that was a 10. All right, so Linehan's got a tough row to hoe here with a 104 half from Tim Douglas. And he starts off on the 3 pin and takes out 6, sorry. Humes also on the 3 pin, but he only gets 4. Linehan shooting at the 1, 2, 4, 8. And that 4 pin somehow stayed up. Or 8 pin, is it? Humes misses his spare. $10 for Linehan. And an $8 for Humes. All right, we're coming into box 2 of game 4. And Linehan is in the pocket on the left, or on the right, I'm sorry. Came in backwards for a lefty. Took out 5. Humes again is on the 3 pin. And has a 4 horseman plus a 10 pin, some wood in between. Linehan looking at a check mark in the back plus a 6 pin. Just gets the 8. Humes leaves the 7. Everything but the 7 went down. Nicely done, but didn't pick up that back pin. So open in the second for both. And Linehan with a 9 box for 19 after 2. And 10 for Humes for 18 after 2. So Rob's down early by 31 pins after 2 boxes with that amazing run by Douglas. Linehan trying to put some strikes up on his own, gives it a good run and takes out everything but the 5. Humes coming in on the other side this time. He's on the 4 and takes out only 2. Linehan with a single pin spare to make. No problem. 29 after 2 plus a ball. And Humes having a little trouble finding the head pin right now. Goes wide and still has a 1-2. I think that's the 8 and then 9, but it's not quite in the right spot. Something's off spot, so an 8 box regardless. 26 after 3. But he's up against a couple open boxes by Hunter, so he's got a chance to catch up here. He's only down 7 pins. Linehan, first ball on it in the 4th, which is a fill. That's 8 in the fill. He's left with a 7-10 split. Humes again on the 3 pin, but 7 come down on 1, 2, 4 are left. Linehan's looking at the 7-10 split with Wood on the left. And just misses Wood. He's trying to cap the left wood. Humes with a spare. Spare in the 4th for James Humes. Linehan looking to close out with a 10 box. That's what he meant to do on the 2nd ball, but he got it on the 3rd. And we have some wood in the channel to clear out, so Rob's going to clear that out. He's at 47 after 4. Humes is at 36 plus a fill ball. All right, Linehan on box 5. Nice ball in the pocket. No luck, though. Left a 5-7-9. Humes on a fill. Puts up 8, 9. Wiggly 4, but it's 45 after that 9 fill. Linehan trying to pick up the split. Humes trying to put 2 in a row up there. And he does. 55 in a ball after 5 for James Humes. Hangs a spare in the 5th. Linehan with an 8 box. And he's at 55. Now Tim Douglas comes up. He's a 104. 89 pin lead. Or I'm sorry, 49 pin lead on Rob after a half. Hunter. First ball just takes out 4. Douglas gets some great late action on this. 6 drop. 1, 3, 9, 10 left. Hunter with 5 on the right plus another one. Everything but the 5 pin goes. All right, Douglas does not get the spare on that one. There's a 10 box for James Hunter for 61 after 6. And a 9 box for Tim Douglas. He's now left 1 pin on the deck. In 6 boxes, he's at 113 after 6. Hunter's over on the 4 pin on that one, just takes out 3. Douglas on the head pin. Is it going to go? It's wobbly, but not quite enough. So 9 in the drop. Hunter just misses a head pin. Leaves up the 1-3. Oh, Douglas misses that spare. 8 box for Hunter, 69 after 7. 9 box for Douglas, 122 after 7. Hunter's just out of the pocket on that one. Comes in on a 3. Just barely missed a head pin. Took out 3 though. Tim Douglas on the head pin that time. All right, he gets 8 down. Got a chance here. Just one more for Hunter, so 4 down. Tim Douglas looking at the 3-7 split with some wood there that might help. And he misses that wood and gets to the back wood. Both pins still standing. Hunter trying to clean up this mess. Does a great job of that. Picks up a 9 box for 78 after 8. Douglas trying to pick up the split, and he does. That's what he meant to do with the second ball. Wood was there to do it. 10 box gives him 132 after 8. All right, box 8 again, 9 of game 4. Jim Hunter. That time he's on the head pin. And the 3-9-10 are up. Tim Douglas on the head pin that time. That's his 4th strike of this game. Put up a triple in the first half. Hunter, nice spare. Picks up the 3-9-10. All right, so both bowlers put up marks in the 9th. Hunter's at 88 plus a fill. Looking to put up another one to make it tougher for James. He's in there, in the pocket. Dropped 8. So 8 and a fill gives him 96 after 9. Tim Douglas is on a strike. He's at 142 plus a 2-ball fill. And just misses another double. 9 in the first ball. And Hunter goes wide to that 2 pins. And a 9 fill for Tim Douglas. So his 9th box, he's at 151. 10 box for Jim Hunter for a 106 string. And 9 box for Tim Douglas for a 160 string. So after 4 strings, Tim Douglas is at 523. James Humes on a fill, on a head pin. And that's an 8 fill, so he closes first half at 63. Linehan off to the left. Just 5 go down. Humes is looking at the 3-10 split. And he picks it up. Nice and clean. Linehan on the 3 pin. Still 2 left. And Jim Hunter is a 471 after 4. 9 box for Linehan. He's a 64 after 6. He has to get 96 pins and 4 boxes to tie. Humes drops 9 in the fill, puts him at 82 after 6. He's in a good position to win this string. Linehan leaves Caleri. Another spare for Humes. That's 4 in a row. Linehan came in a little full on the head pin that time. Was in the right spot. Didn't go. And a 9 box puts him at 73 after 7. All right, Humes on the fill. And a solid head pin hit, but he rewards him with just 6 in the fill, so he's at 98 in the 7th box, and he's looking at the 5, 7, 9, 10. Wood over there, see if he can make that fly. Nope, just the wood goes. Linehan punched out a spread eagle, picks up the left 3. And Humes with a 7 box, so 105 after 8. Needs 1 pin to tie, 2 to win in the next 2 boxes. Linehan's at 81 after 8. He's down 51 pins with 2 to go. All right, James Humes has won this string. That was enough to do it. Drop 5, 1, 2, or 1, 3, 8, 9, 10. Linehan dropped 6. Humes, everything but the 9-pin goes. Linehan just takes out the 4. And a 10 box, James Humes, 115. 7 box for Linehan for an 88 after 9. So Tim Douglas has won this string with that 160 string. And it's 10th box of game 4. Humes comes in on a 6-pin, just takes out 3. Linehan, nice head pin hit, drops 8. The 3-5 are left. Humes looking at this double row here. 4 horsemen left plus 3 in the back. Just goes wide of the head pin. So he'll be open in the 10th. Spare for Linehan. That'll give him a chance to get over 100 on this string. And a 9 box for James Hume gives him a 124. So he's won. And Linehan puts 5 on his fill for a 103.
Got another one, didn't you, James? Got it yet?
All right, just adding up the totals right now. All right. All right, so in the Humes versus Hunter match, James Humes has 6 points to Jim Hunter's 2, and he leads 517 to 471 in total, which is a 46-pin lead by my count. In the Linehan versus Douglas match, Douglas has 6 points, Linehan 2. Douglas is at 523 after 4. Linehan 457. That's 66 pins by my count. Timmy Douglas with a 10 box and Jim Hunter with an 8 box. All right, box 2 of game 5, our 5th and final game of this match. Tim Douglas, who's been a strike machine tonight, came in on the left pocket and left a diamond. Hunter with a 7 drop. That 9-pin went late. Timmy trying to pick up this diamond, does not get it, goes to the right. Open in the second box. Doing a score correction up here. Hunter on the spare attempt, trying to pick up that line, and can't get the back pin to go. So both bowlers open in the second. Douglas with a 9, 19 after 2. 10 box for Jim Hunter, 18 after 2. All right, box 3. Tim Douglas, that was a strike ball, but the 5-pin didn't get the news. It stayed up. And 9 drop for Hunter. The 1-3-10 went late. He missed that by a fraction of an inch. He thought he had it. I thought he had it. And the ball took a little break at the end. And Hunter misses his, so both bowlers open in the third. 9 box for Tim Douglas, 28 after 3. 10 box for Humes, 28 after 3. All right, coming into box 4 at game 5, Tim Douglas on your right. In the pocket, and gets a strike that time. I lost count of how many strikes that is, but it's a bunch. 7 in the fill, or no, that wasn't out of fill for Jim, I'm sorry. 7 in the first ball for Jim Hunter. And does not get the mark on that one. This is his 15th game today. And there's a 10 box, 38 after 4 for Hunter. He's only left 2 pins standing so far after 4 boxes. All right, Tim Douglas on a strike, Phil. First ball in the pocket. How about a double? Put up a triple in the last string. And a nice 9 drop for Hunter. Leaves a 5 pin. And Hunter open again. And a 9 box for Jim Hunter, 47 after 5. He's got just one more half to go, and then he'll have completed 15 games today in competition. Rob Linehan coming up. He's trying to pick up some more points here. He's down 6-2 in points, and he's down 66 pins in total, not including what Timmy just did. And Rob starts off on the head pin, nice, but it's left with a 3-1 split. James Humes has been putting on a good show for us today. Drops 8, 7-8 are left. Rob, nice try on that one, but just went wide of the 3 pin. Humes can't get the 7 to go. And nice 10 box for Rob, matches Tim's 10 box in the first. And a 9 box for James Humes. All right, Linehan came in on the 3 pin that time and took out 5, 4 horsemen plus the 8 are left. Humes is on the head pin. And 4-7 stayed up. Rob trying to get some marks in here. Looks good. But the 4 pin doesn't want to fall. James picks up his spare. And a 9 box for Linehan. 19 after 2. He's tied with Timmy in completed boxes, but he's up against a 9 strike. So if he wants to take some points here, he's got to get quite a few marks here going. And his ball broke in front of the head pin, came in on a 3. He's left with a 1-2. Humes puts 8 up on his fill, so he's at 27 after 2. Linehan has a spare in a 3rd. And Humes just catches the wood, doesn't catch the pin right, and leaves the 5 pin, so open in the 3rd. All right, 9 box for James Humes. So after 3, Rob Linehan's at 29 plus a ball versus Tim Douglas 28, but Tim had a double strike. Rob wants to match. Well, he starts with 6 in the fill, no strike in the 4th. Humes is at 36. And he's hoping to break up that split. But that right pin stays up. Linehan trying to pick up a spare here, and he gets it. 2 spares in a row. Not a strike, but not bad. Gives him a shot here. All right, just the right pin goes for James. He's still up in his string. And that's a 9 box. 45 after 4 for James Humes. Linehan's at 45 after 5 as well, and this is a fill ball. So 7 closes out the 4th box of 52. Humes drops 9. 7 butt pin stays up. And another spare for Linehan.
Yeah, they do $5.
And a spare for Humes, too. He just tapped that 7-pin. So we sit down, come into the final half of the final string here. Tim Douglas is at 58 and still some fill to go. Linehan's at 62 and a fill. Jim Hunter's coming up on the right. He's at 47 after 5 versus James Humes, 55 plus a ball. Nice ball by Jim Hunter. A little full on the head pin. And is left with a 2 and a 6. Tim Douglas looking for a triple, and he gets another triple. It's his second triple of this match. He's a strike machine. Nice bid by Hunter on that. Doesn't pick up that right pin, so open into 6. Needs to get some marks here. And there's a 10 box, 57 after 6. So Tim's ball doesn't register on our speed measurements here. It's too fast. Okay, on the 2-pin for Hunter, Tim Douglas looking for a 4-bagger. And doesn't get it, stops at 3 again. So 2 triples in this match, and he closes his first half at 83. So 83 half for Douglas. He had a 104 half in the last string. All right, open in the 7th for Douglas. He closes the 6th box with a 101. And Hunter with that 8 box is a 65. Douglas trying to pick up these last 2. He gets them. 111 after 7 boxes for Tim Douglas. Jim Hunter, nice ball. He's left with a 9-10 and some wood that might help. Tim Douglas. Solid head pin hit. 6-7-10 split, and wood by the 6 and 7 and 10. Hunter just picks up the 9-pin, missed the wood. Just the right 2 go off for Tim Douglas. He doesn't pick up that 7-pin. Hunter looking for a 10. Nope, not going to happen. The wood was a roadblock. 9 box puts him at 74 after 8. He's markless so far. 10 box for Douglas, 121 after 8. All right, coming into the final 2 boxes of this match for these guys. Hunter looking for his first mark in the 5th. Puts it in a pocket. And what is that? Just a mess down there, but they're together. Douglas on the head pin. And he's going to do the 2-1 split, but on the opposite side now. It's 4-7-10 instead of 6-7-10. Hunter trying to spare this, and he does. First mark of this string for Jim Hunter. Tim Douglas tries to pick up that, doesn't go. It'll be open in the 9th. His last string was a 160. So with 9, he's at 130 after 9 boxes. Hunter on the fill puts 7 in. Douglas off to the right onto the 3-pin. Just 3 in a row. 1, 2, 4. Hunter trying to pick up this spare, and he does. 2 in a row. Puts him a 101 plus a ball. Timmy Douglas trying to spare this, and he gets it off the wall. So he's a 140 plus a ball. And Hunter on that fill. Nice 8 fill gives him a 109 string. And Tim Douglas on a fill on his. It's going to be just 7, so 147 for Tim Douglas. So Tim Douglas closes out with a 670 for 5. And with that 109, Jim Hunter has a 580. So coming into the last part of the 5th string, James Humes put 4 on his fill for 59 at the half. Linehan put 6 on his for 68 at the half. Got a ways to go to get to 148. And does not get the spare for either guy. Nice 10 by James. 69 after 6. And a 10 box for Linehan, 78 after 6. Humes coming in on a 3-pin. Linehan on a 2. Humes took out 5. Linehan 6. Nice bid on that by James Humes. He left the 10-pin though. On this Lambda, Rob picked up everything but the 6 and the 9, it looks like. And a 10 box for James Humes, 79 after 7. 10 box for Linehan, 88 after 7. Humes needs 30 pins to tie. He's going to need a spare to win this one. First ball, strike for Linehan. Humes has a tough one here. He's got the 6-7-9 split. He does need a spare to win. He can tie with all 10s. He's going to give it a run. Doesn't go. All right, he needs to pin here. Oh, what a shot by James. Picked up that split clean for a 10 box. He needs a 10s to tie. He's at 89 after 8 to 74, but Hunter put up 2 marks after that. He needs to get to 110 to win. He's at 89. And he put that one on the 3-pin. Linehan drops 6 on the first ball on his strike. Total's out of reach for Linehan. All right, no spare there. And it looks like Humes is going to win total on this one, regardless of whether he wins the string or not. And a 9 box, 98 after 9. And with that 10 box, Linehan is at 117. The best he can do right now is get a triple strike to tie. Humes has to have a spare to win this string. Timmy Douglas will definitely win string 5. And total. There's no way Linehan can win total now. Humes needs a spare to win. Does not get it. So Jim Hunter will win game 5. Nice out by Jim Hunter, or James Humes, I'm sorry, for a 1-pin victory by Jim Hunter, 109 to 108. And Tim Douglas will win 147 to 126. Let me get the totals here. 13, 6 and 2, 8. All right, so in the Hunter versus Humes match, James Humes will take 10 points to Jim Hunter's 4 points with a 625 to 580 victory. On the Tim Douglas and Rob Linehan match, Douglas will take 12 points to Linehan's 2 points with a 670 to 583. So some great bowling today by all bowlers. And thanks for joining us. We've enjoyed this. This is Dan Castle speaking for Candlepin Bowling Network and the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour here at Millis, Ryan's Family Amusements. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you on the lanes.